Hey guys. So we finished up yesterday with chapter 18, and at the end of chapter 18, everybody had realized, thanks to James, that they could eat pieces of the giant peach so they wouldn't starve to death. And James had also told them, hey, we're floating in the giant peach, so you're not going to drown. So here we go. Chapter 19. Look, cried the centipede just as they were finishing their meal. Look at that funny, thin, black thing gliding through the water over there. They all swung around to look. There are two of them, said Miss Spider. There are lots of them, said the ladybug. What are they? Asked the earthworm, getting worried. They must be some kind of fish, said the old green grasshopper. Perhaps they have come a long way to say hello. They are sharks, said the earthworm. I bet you anything like they are sharks and they've come along to eat us up. What absolute rot, said the centipede. But his voice did start to be a little shaky and he wasn't laughing. I am positive they are sharks, said the earthworm. I know they are sharks. And so, in actual fact, did everybody else. But they were too frightened to admit it. There was a short silence. They all peered down anxiously, way from the top of the peach, down at the sharks who were cruising slowly round and round the peach. I'm going to show you the picture. See? I'm going to hold it out here. See them up here on the top? Down there at the bottom? It's where the sharks are swimming. Just assuming they are sharks, the centipede said, there still can't possibly be any danger if we just stay up here. But even as he spoke, one of those thin black fins suddenly changed direction and came cutting swiftly through the water right up to the side of the peach itself. The shark paused and stared at the company with small dark eyes. Go away, they shouted. Go away, you filthy beast. Slowly, almost lazily, the shark opened his mouth, which was big enough to have swallowed a perambulator, I don't know what that is, and made a lunge at the peach. They all watched, aghast. And now, as though at a signal from the leader, all the other sharks came swimming in toward the peach, and they clustered around it, and they began to attack it furiously. There must have been 20 or 30 of them at least, all pushing and fighting and lashing their tails and churning the water into a froth. Panic and pandemonium broke out immediately on top of the peach. Oh, we are finished now, cried Miss Spider, wringing her feet. That's like wringing your hands, except she does it with her feet. They will eat up the whole peach and there'll be nothing left for us to stand on, and then they will start us. She is right, shouted the ladybug. We are lost forever. Oh, I don't want to be eaten, cried the earthworm. They will take me first because I'm so fat and juicy and I have no bones. Isn't there anything we can do? Asked the ladybug, appealing to James. Surely you can think of a way out of this. Suddenly, they were all looking at James. Think, begged Miss Spider. Think, James, think. Come on, said the centipede. Come on, James, there must be something we can do. Their eyes waited upon him, tense, anxious, pathetically hopeful. Chapter 20. There is something that I believe we might try, James Henry Trotter said slowly. I'm not saying it'll work. Tell us, said the earthworm. Tell us quick. We'll try anything you say, said the centipede, but hurry, hurry, hurry. Be quiet and let the boy speak, said the ladybug. Go on, James. They all moved a little closer to him. There was a longish pause. Go on, they said frantically. Go on. all the time while they were waiting, they could hear the sharks threshing around in the water below them. It was enough to make anyone frantic. Come on, James. Come on, said the ladybug, coaxing him. I, I, I'm afraid it's no good after all, James murmured, shaking his head. I'm terribly sorry. I forgot. We don't have any string. We would need hundreds of yards of string to make this idea work. What sort of string? Asked the old grasshopper. Any sort, just so long as it's strong. But my dear boy, that's exactly what we do have. We've got all you want. Huh? How? Where? The silkworm, said old green grasshopper. Didn't you ever notice the silkworm? She's still downstairs. She never moves. She just lies there sleeping all day, but we can wake her up and make her spin. And what about me, may I ask, said Miss Spider. I can spin just as well as a silkworm, and what's more, I can spin patterns. Can you make enough between you? Asked James. As much as you want, said Miss Spider. And quickly? Of course, said Miss Spider. And would it be strong? Oh, it would be the strongest there is. It's as thick as your finger. But why? What are you going to do? Asked Miss Spider. I'm going to lift this peach clear out of the water, James announced firmly. You're crazy, cried the earthworm. It's our only chance. The boy is crazy. He's joking. Go on, James, the ladybug said gently. How are you going to do it? Skyhooks, I suppose, jeered the centipede. Jeered means like he's making fun. Seagulls, answered James calmly. The place is full of seagulls. Look up. They all looked up, and they saw a great mass of seagulls wheeling around and around in the sky. I'm going to take a long silk string, James went on. I'm going to loop it, one end around of it, around a seagull's neck. Then I'm going to tie the other end to the stem of the peach. He pointed to the peach stem, which was standing up like a short stick in the middle of the deck. Then I'm going to get another seagull and do the same thing, and another, and another. Ridiculous, they shouted. Absurd. Poppycock, balderdash, this is madness. And the old green grasshopper said, how can a few seagulls lift an enormous thing like this up into the air, and all of us as well? It would take hundreds or thousands. There's no shortage of seagulls, James answered. Look for yourself. We'll probably need 400, 500, 600, maybe even 1,000. I don't know. I shall simply go on hooking them up to the stem until they have enough to lift us up. They'll be bound to lift us in the end. It's like balloons. If you give someone enough balloons to hold, I mean really enough, then up he goes. And a seagull has far more lifting power than a balloon. If only we have the time to do it. If only we are not sunk first by those awful sharks. You're absolutely off your head, cried the earthworm. How on earth do you propose to get a loop of string around a seagull's neck? I suppose you're just going to fly up there and catch it? The boy is crazy, said the centipede. Let him finish, said the ladybug. Go on, James. How would you do it? With bait. Bait? What sort of bait? Well, with a worm, of course. Seagulls love worms, don't you know? And lucky for us, we have the biggest, fattest, pinkest, juiciest earthworm in the world. You can stop right there, said the earthworm sharply. That is quite enough. Go on, the others said, beginning to grow interested. Go on. The seagulls have already spotted him, James continued. That's why there are so many of them circling around. But they won't dare to come down to get him while we're all standing here. So this is what— Stop! Cried the earthworm. Stop, stop, stop! I won't have it. I refuse. I. Be quiet, said the centipede. Mind your own business. Huh, I like that. That is my business. My dear earthworm, you're going to be eaten anyway, so what difference does it make if it's sharks or seagulls? I won't do it, said the earthworm. Why don't we hear what the plan is first, said the old green grasshopper. I don't give a hoot what the plan is, cried the earthworm. I'm not going to be pecked to death by a bunch of seagulls. You will be the martyr, said the centipede. I shall respect you for the rest of my life. So will I, said Miss Spider, and your name will be in all the newspapers. Earthworm gives his life to save his friends. But he won't have to give his life, James told them. Now listen to me. This is what we'll do. And that's the end of chapter 20. So I'll see you back here tomorrow for chapter 21. Bye, guys.